Thank you very much for watching. Today I'll be reacting to crazy dating stories from the internet. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your thoughts in the comments.
Story time on why you should be really careful about who you're dating. So, this is a true story, friend of a friend kind of thing. There was a young girl, she lived in New York City, and she was on a dating app and matched with this, young guy. He seemed like a really great person. He had his stuff together, good job, lived local to the area. They talked for a few weeks, everything was going really great. No red flags, all of that good stuff. He decides to ask her out one night, and she agrees, they end up going to this really nice restaurant. He pays, he's a gentleman, he's nice to wait staff. They wrap up the night and they both go to their respective homes. And after she gets settled at her apartment, she gets a text from him saying that he lost his key and he's trying to get a hold of his roommate. His roommate isn't home, but his roommate is also not answering. So he's kind of like stuck outside of his apartment. Just sort of like telling her that, and she just kind of figures, all right, I'll invite you over. So, maybe give him a little bit of time to figure out what's going on, either find his key or get in contact with his roommate. So he comes over to her apartment and they have, a really nice chat. They sit on the couch. Finally, she decides that she's going to go to bed. She doesn't know why, but she goes into her own bedroom, which has a door, and she ends up locking it. And it's just one of those things that she felt like she needed to do, which I totally get. Like, new people in your space. Sometimes it's nice to just be extra cautious. So she goes to her bedroom, she locks the door, and he's sleeping on the couch. Around 3 in the morning, she wakes up to a knocking on her door. It's her date. And he asks her if she has a cell phone charger because his cell phone is dead and he needs to charge it. This is the part where it gets like really crazy. So she tells him that she has one and it's on the kitchen counter. And she just tells him this through the door. She doesn't get up. She doesn't unlock the door. She doesn't go and find it for him. And I'm thinking to myself, if this was me, I would totally get up and grab it for the person and give it to them and then be like, all right, anything else? Good night. He says thank you. He goes, he grabs the charger, whatever. She doesn't know. She just goes right back to sleep. A few minutes later, he knocks on the door again. He said it's not working. And does she have one in her room? At this point, she's thinking that there's something up. She decides to call the police, which, once again, good for you, girl, for having the instinct to connect with the police. The police show up to the apartment. They knock on the door. She hears some commotion going on. And then she gets a knock on her bedroom door, because mind you, she hasn't come out this entire time. And it's a police officer. And he said, we've cleared the apartment. We have him in custody. We really need you to come out of your room so you can take a look at your apartment. She opens the door and walks out, and she sees that her entire living room is plasticked. And there is a set of power tools sitting on the floor. This girl, because of her instinct to not open the door to a weird request for a phone charger in the middle of the night, saved her. Before you decide to take someone home or let them stay at your place, think twice about it.
That's such a crazy story though. I think her instinct really saved her in this situation because I feel like most people will be like, oh, here's my charger. Maybe I'll figure it out in the morning or something. The fact that he lives in that city and the first person he could call to help him is somebody that he just knew for a few days, I think that's a big red flag. I know it's kind of hard to say no to somebody that is in need of help because I know I struggle with that a lot. But sometimes you just have to listen to your instincts. Don't let somebody that you don't know very well into your house. Your house is supposed to be a safe space. And this guy could have very well unalived her. So I'm really glad she listened to her instinct. Some of the top comments, this person says that the fact that she thought she had to lock her door is her God telling her that he needed to leave. Exactly. Maybe something he said just kind of made her feel very uncomfortable. Because his request wasn't anything crazy, but her God really did save her. This other person says, first date, that person isn't staying at my place, no matter what. Exactly, you barely know this guy. No matter what he did, no matter how comfortable you felt at that date, that's just a very dangerous move. You do not let somebody that you barely know into your space. It can be very, very dangerous.
I did a background check on a man mid-date. Mid-date. Like, have you ever been on a date where it's just like, I'm not even gonna call that a date, because that wasn't a date. Where you're just like, you know what, I need to look you up, because this is just, you played, sir. Like, you very much played, okay? And he wasn't crazy, but he definitely played. So how I met this man is so crazy. So we were Facebook friends for like 4 years. My whole high school, I used to talk to this guy on Facebook, right? Not exclusively, child. But whatever the case, I lived in Jacksonville. He lived in West Palm. I ended up going to school in Miami. So that's just like, I was only like 45 minutes away from him. So once I moved to Miami for school, he ended up coming to see me and we went on our first date, y'all. The date was terrible, terrible. And we never spoke again. Deleted each other on Facebook, deleted each other or unfollowed each other on Instagram, and we never spoke again. Okay.
So your first date was so bad that you guys deleted each other on Facebook and Instagram. In my opinion, you should have just left it as that.
Fast forward, I'm 24, I'm back living in Miami, and I'm posting all over my WhatsApp story because I'm talking to Caribbean men, and they use WhatsApp, and he ends up seeing it, right? So he hits me up and he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were back in Miami. Like, I would have been taking you on a date. Like, let me take you out. We can do Taco Tuesday on Tuesday. It's like a Saturday that he's writing me this. So I'm like, okay, period. Let's take me on a date. And I love a good Taco Tuesday. I love a good margarita. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I don't hear from him. Monday, I don't hear from him. Tuesday all day, I don't hear from him. And like 2 hours before, he calls me, he FaceTimes me, and he's like, oh, are you getting ready? Like, are you coming? And I'm like, dude, no, you ain't even hit me up. Like, plans was not confirmed, in my opinion. But he's like, oh, no, come. Like, I thought, like, we were all set to go. So against my better judgment, I went. Now, he sent me their little Taco Tuesday flyer. I didn't even look up the restaurant to, like, see what they, like, I normally look up menus. I normally, like, look up pictures to get vibes. I don't know why. Maybe because it was, like, last minute. Now I'm like, okay, I'm going. I need to hurry up and get dressed. So he sent me the flyer, and all I looked at was the address. Now, once I pulled up, I realized that this was not, Taco Tuesday Mexican style where we get nice margaritas and we finna sit and eat tacos. This was Taco Tuesday Black people style. Okay, I pull up and I see red and blue flashing lights, strobe lights. I'm like, they're in here partying. I hear a DJ. I can look because they have both doors open. I can see hookah. I'm like, this is not no date. Like, I'm not going on a date right now. So I text him in. I'm like, okay, I'm outside. Where you at? And he's like, oh, come in. And I'm like, come in. Like, why are you not coming to get me and walking me in with you? Like, what's going on? But I'm like, maybe you got a table. Like what's up? Like, I wasn't feeling that. So the restaurant had like 2 doors. I could see into the first door, and it's like the bar, and I see some tables of hookah. And then the back doors, I could see it's like the open like dance floor or whatever. So I'm like, I'm gonna go through the back door so I'll see him before he sees me, right? So I walk in and I'm looking around. I'm looking at the tables. It's not that big of a place. I don't see him. So I sit down and I'm getting ready to text him, and then I hear the DJ come over the mic, and I look at the DJ, and he's the DJ.
That's crazy. What do you mean by he's the DJ? You should have just been honest from the beginning and asked you to come watch his performance. And you can decide whether you want to go there or not. And not for a date. Because you can prepare appropriately on what to wear and whether you want to bring a +1 or not. I feel like I'll be so upset too if I found out that he was DJ and we weren't going on a date when I planned all this while to be on a date. The moment I saw him on that stage, I would have gone back home because it's not me you're going to play with.
Sir, what? So I'm like, okay, this is not a date. You invited me to Taco Tuesday. You didn't tell me you was the DJ. I'm texting my sister like, girl, guess what? I'm texting my homegirl like, should I just leave? And I go back to the flyer, right? And so on the flyer it says music by, and then I guess it's his DJ name. But because I knew him pre this, I only knew him by his first name. So he probably sent me that flyer and thought that I knew that he was going to be the DJ because it said music by his name. But I didn't know that was his DJ name. I only knew his government name. So then I go look up his Instagram and his Facebook to like, let me see what this dude has got going on, because clearly I don't know him. And I see as a child, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even date men with kids. But he didn't want to date me, he just wanted to smash. And then the baby's like young, and I'm just like, why did I not do my research? Like, what is going on? And I'm just sitting here looking stupid. This man is DJing and I'm sitting at a table by myself. So then I'm like, let me do a background check on him. Like, since I can't sit and get to know him because I thought I was going on a date to get to know somebody, let me just do the background check myself. And the site that I use for the background checks, y'all, it don't just tell you like if they've been arrested or anything like that. It don't just tell you like where they previously lived. That junk will tell you if they went to traffic court, if they sued somebody, if their name was in any law court case, family court, child support. It will tell you everything, y'all. So I'm sitting here looking like pulling this man's background check because I'm like, since I can't get to know you, like, yeah, you tricked. I was tricked. I was bamboozled. And I'm texting my sister and my homegirl. I'm like, should I just leave? And so I text him, I'm like, I'm going through the background check. I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna just leave. So I text him. I was like, I'm about to go.
I feel like she should have left though. If I was in a situation, I would have left. The moment I saw him on that stage, I would have left. But also, when you text back and forth, what do you guys talk about before you meet up? Don't you talk about your job and like whether you have kids or not? That's the conversation you have to have with somebody before you meet them. So you don't waste your time or your energy.
Imagine the worst thing that could happen on a first date and times it by 10. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all what happened on our actual first date, and then I'm also going to do like part 2 to what happened after the whole situation where I pulled up and he was a DJ. And I even brought out I went and scrolled for those messages from when it happened, and I'm gonna read y'all the text messages, okay? So on our first date, I was 18. We were meeting for the first time. I was in college. I had just moved to Miami. I had only been there for a few months, okay? You know, when you, as a woman, when you move somewhere different, your body goes through changes, okay? Like when you're in a new environment. So basically, he came and got me. We went on a date. We went to like IHOP or Denny's or something like that. And long story short, I started my period in his car. The thing about it was, it wasn't like a spotting type of thing, like, oh, I just went through a little bit. Like, I did not have on nothing, like no pad or anything like that. I was full on period, like bad in his car. His car looked like a crime scene. It looked like a whole crime scene. So yeah, he wasn't happy, and he drove like a Mercedes. He drove like a nice car. He wasn't happy, child. I was like, I'll clean it up. He didn't want me to. He wanted to take me home, so okay, take me home. Sorry, I tried. So yeah, that was just like really embarrassing. I didn't want to talk to him after that. We didn't speak. I think maybe a few months later he did reach out, but I don't want to talk to him no more. That was embarrassing. But anyway, back to what happened when I pulled up and he was a DJ. I literally looked at the messages, and in the message I said, I did not know he was working. Like, I really did not know that this man was a DJ. But long story short, there was nothing on the background check. So I stayed and I hung out with him after like his set was done, and we had a good night. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna hang out with him again. So would you be shocked to hear that he did the same thing again? Okay, so he told me to meet him at his house. I told him I'll let him know when I was on the way. After I told him I was on the way, there's like a little gap. And then he sends me a voice note. I'm not going to play the voice note because the voice is distinct. Okay, and he basically says, oh, I just got a call from the promoter. They need me to come do a set. So when you get here, you know, I guess I'm going to hop in the car with him and go with him to the club. No, dude, like, you play, like, you cannot, like, I do not believe that. Like, he knew that he had to work. And I was going to pull up, get in the car with him, and he was going to pull up to work. And he waited. Because why did you wait until I said I was on the way? You knew, dude. You knew. Fool me once. Shame on you. Fool me twice. I'm the goofy, okay? A nigga would treat you like a goofy as long as you let him. And this nigga was taking it, okay? So I said, I'm going to just go back home. He said, no. I said, I'm not going to a party dressed like this because I didn't know that. Like, no. And I said, and I don't want to wait. And he said, come and get my key and I'll meet you back at my house. Dude, no. Immediately no. Why the hell would I go sit and wait at your house? Why would I go sit at a nigga's house who's not my nigga without him? So the next chick could come, boom, 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 banging on the door, like, who's in here? Like, no, I'm paranoid. I am not sitting at your house, dude. Like, you thought. So I told him, I said, I'm just gonna go home because I'm not going to your house without you. So then he said, so can I come to you? And I said, honestly, I'm irritated at this point. I just drove over an hour for nothing. I'm going to sleep. Have a good night. Because I was already on the way there and just to have to turn around and go back home. I went home. The hell he thought? So period. The girl stood on business, okay? I was not going for the okie doke. I went home and he was talking some shit in my head. I went home, stood on business for that night only. Because I hung out with him again, okay? Just goofy. I'm not even going to read y'all the rest of the messages because I was stupid, okay? I was stupid. This was, mind y'all, this is not recent. This was 2021 and 2022. I was stupid, okay? They say that your frontal lobe is not developed until you're 25, and it very much shows, okay? I was a clown, and this man was running the circus, and I was an on-call employee, okay? I was goofy, y'all. I'm not reading the rest of the messages.
She sounds like a funny person though. But I'm actually not surprised he did the same thing again. This man doesn't take you seriously. He's inconsistent with communication and doesn't plan proper dates. And you're not even in a relationship with him. You're literally just talking to him. And this is how he's treating you. Girl, I can't believe that you actually hung up with him again. That chapter should have been closed from the very first date you had with him. He didn't deserve your time, and I'm glad you could walk away and move on. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments and like and subscribe.